villain. They've got this albino, they call him, who is a villain. And every time they talk about him, I mean, like I said, I spent a good day on Twitter having this argument with people, and they wanted to draw the analogy to, they wanted to say Assange is like, if you criticize Scooter Libby, then you should criticize Julian Assange. And I was like, well, no, actually, the functional equivalent is allegedly Bradley Manning. And nobody wants to go after Bradley Manning. And there's, I think, a lot of reasons why nobody wants to go after Bradley Manning. But Bradley Manning is the Scooter Libby of this story.
Right.
And instead, Julian Assange is, and one of the things that is so fascinating about this discussion is to vilify Julian Assange, they have to deny that he is in the functional equivalent of the journalist role. And this is why it's so interesting given the whole Internet thing, because, journalists have spent a lot of time trying to deny that we are journalists, that bloggers are journalists.
True.
And they've failed because every time we go to head-to-head, we at least hold our own and at times do better than they do.
No, we
and
so
that argument, they can keep calling us Cheeto-eating pajama wearers, but ultimately that attack is beginning to fail. But now they're mobilizing the whole Assange can't be a journalist. And it's like, well, why not? If you have a problem, and I had this, it was fascinating. I spent probably a couple hours today, and I said, do you have any evidence? I mean, I agree that this will make diplomacy more difficult. It will also make, attacking democracy more difficult. It will also make attacking people kind of snidely more difficult. It will also mean that the Arab Street, as they like to call it, have a better sense of what their authoritarian leaders are doing and be able to pressure them not to go to war against Iran, which is what they want to do, but not what the Arab Street wants to do. Everyone's like, well, we know this is net bad. And I'm like, we don't know that. How do you know that? We don't know. I mean, first of all, we haven't even seen most of the cables, but second of all, we don't know what the repercussions are going to be. But more importantly, it's like this urge to deny that Julian Assange is doing the same thing as the New York Times, and in fact, the New York Times is serving as Julian Assange's gatekeeper in this case.